You saying that you're doing what the majority of black women are doing, and now everybody's strong? No, that's the status quo. And then how do you measure the strength? What did the strength? What was the outcome? How are we doing as a whole? What does the community look like? What's the manifestation of all this strength? If we had a place full of strong people, the results would mirror that.
The strength that I'm, and I could be wrong opposed to what they're thinking, is just like having the confidence, being able to move as a mother, move as help me, and obviously we have careers. Most of us have careers if we're not staying at home. So moving in our jobs, and just being able to maneuver life, knowing that we can do those things confidently. But as far as when it comes to maybe a discourse or a disagreement with our spouse, then it can come off like we're trying to rule them or we're trying to win against them.
I think that's called being assertive. There's nothing wrong being assertive. You should be able to assert yourself.
Here's the thing. This is not strength that you guys are conveying.
Being a mother and being a career woman isn't a strength.
I'm just listening to what you guys just said. Now you add another stuff. You can add it after.
But she said that. You said being a mother and having careers and everything. That's a certain type of strength. That's multitasking.
You are adulting.
You're carrying various loads.
Hold on. Wait. You saying that you're doing what the majority of black women are doing, and now everybody's strong? No, that's the status quo. And then how do you measure the strength? What did the strength? What was the outcome? How are we doing as a whole? What does the community look like? What's the manifestation of all this strength? If we had a place full of strong people, the results would mirror that. But they're actually the opposite. Are we using strength incorrectly? Endurance, I can agree. Just don't die, nigga. That's what, just don't die. We are good at enduring and surviving.
But you don't feel like being endurant is a strength?
Endurance, I think it's a good trait, right? But it's not a prevailing thing, Like endurance needs to be coupled with different things for you to prevail, right? For you to be successful. There's one thing to get through it, and then there's one thing to get through it well. You see? You need other traits coupled with endurance, right? But our endurance allows us to survive, right? But I thought that we want to thrive, grow, progress, as opposed to, but it seems like our community is in a regression with all these strong people. That's oxymoronic, right? When you say it out loud. Which I think. I'm bugging?
No, I guess like you said, as far as using strength in like the wrong way, I can agree with that. I mean, trying to find the word, like you said, endurance or just like overcoming isn't like living. It's just like getting through it. But I hate to say like, but it's kind of, and I'm not just putting this on women, but since we are talking about women, that's what happens with us when we are going through life and say different experiences that we're having that we haven't had before, having to overcome, having to endure. So it's not, I guess those are the times that I'm thinking about. That's where strength kind of kicks in so that you do keep going and you're not like giving up.
Well,
somebody told me somebody said that was masculine. That's a masculine trait.
That's a physical, Lord. That's like a physical type of strength. There's another way of being not just physically strong, but being mentally strong or being emotionally strong. And I feel like women embody that a lot of times a little bit, because you have no choice. Like Rebecca just said, being a mother, there's so much that comes with that.
Slow down. Here's the thing. We tie triumph to trauma so often to make ourselves feel better. Right? So when we survive harsh things, we didn't triumph, we survived it. I remember this one dude in the clink. He's like, yo, nigga, I got 100 soups. You guys know what soups are? Ramen fucking noodles. But in there, that's currency. And you got 100. You balling. Is he fucking thriving? No. That's how you survive in the clink. Yeah. But in his mind, right? He lit. Like we tie shit like, oh, we doing what we thrive. How? What's the measuring rod? Go ahead, Krishana.
So what I was going to say is, because with the strength, obviously, with mental and then physical, enduring strain or resisting force, like that would be more of a physical thing. And I think sometimes what happens is that there is the usage of strength in certain situations there should be some sort of balance. Like if you're in a relationship, know how to balance that strength. Or like if you're just single on your own dealing with life, there are going to be necessary types of strength for those situations. So I think what tends to happen is why it can be perceived as masculine is, there could be an exercising of strength for no reason. It may not be necessary, but it may just be a part of that individual. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily wrong, but I think that's what tends to happen. Sometimes the strength is exercised in a way that it may not need to be if you're in a relationship anyway. That's what I think. That's what I'm more thinking happens. And that's why it can be perceived as a masculine trait. Not saying that the woman is necessarily intended to be that way, but that's what can happen. If that makes sense. I always have to say that because, if I explain something and then it's my responsibility to make sure that you understand what I'm saying.
Krishana, condense it and say it again. Condense it and say it again.
So I'll say it again. So in strength, that's an endurance strain, or if you're being physical, resistant force, right? So in a relationship, if you're in a relationship with someone and you feel the need to exercise strength unnecessarily, where it's not needed, that could come off as being masculine. If you're single and you're just having hard times, you may be having financial struggles or a ton of things are going on, you're going to have to exert strength in a certain way. But because we're talking about, men on the women's POV, more pertaining to relationships, we as women can exert our strength in a way that can be off-putting, which makes it come across as being masculine. Does that make sense? Try to shorten it.
Yeah. Is it masculine? I think there's
I'm using that word because I heard someone say it.
Yeah, and I disagree that women can be masculine. I just think they're poorly behaved, right? Don't put poor behavior and then juxtapose that with masculinity. No, that's just bad behavior, right? If a woman's doing these things, oh, you acting too masculine. No, the fuck she ain't. She could never be me. She's an asshole. That's what you call her. You don't call her masculine. You see what I'm saying? Right? She's a dickhead. That's what she would be. Not masculine. So that's just my thing about that. But I understand in the context, you kind of saying that. You know what I'm saying? So I catch your drift.